Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with his newest expert, Mr. Adrian Hernandez. How you doing, sir?
Let's go. Ready for the call, man. I'm excited.
I am so jacked that you're my last call of the day because I get to go work out after this, and I'm just going to run that much harder and that much faster. Hey, one of the things I want to talk about here is I have a saying that time in the market is better than timing the market. Now, this is obviously very real estate related. I've done the math with dozens of my experts, and it is not even close. I bought property all the way through up the bubble, all the way through down, all the way through back. And again, time in the market beats timing the market. And I thought we should talk about that because in real estate, people talk money, they talk instant gratification, but dude, freaking wealth, a decade. Let's talk.
Yeah, it's a marathon that never stops. Yeah. It's not a fast race, right? It's interesting that you say that because when we look at it, guys, fast success causes ego. Slow success builds character.
Ooh.
We are all succeeding very fast, making a lot of money very fast. You're more than likely spending it very fast. Your ego's through the roof, right? And I say this for real estate. A lot of us get into the business and we start making all this money really, really fast. And all it does is grow an ego versus realizing that, as Zuber is talking about, this is a long-term play. Yeah. It's time in the business. It's time in the deal. It's time in that rental. That's what's going to get you where you want to go. Not the quick, well, let me go do a wholesale deal and make 75 grand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah. Again, it's funny. We talk about real estate, but it's the same deal for me in stocks, right? I'm very public with my embarrassing failures. I turned 7 grand. I'll round it to 200 grand. And then that 200 grand quickly lost 80%. Let me tell you, from 7 to 200, I was a cocky SOB. Yeah. I mean, you think you have the Midas touch, literally. I mean, I remember saying that, at least internally and probably out loud. No, the market bailed you out, you freaking idiot. You stopped doing the work. If I was doing the right things the first year, then I got a little lazy. And you just never know when the market is going to take you on the upswing and then it's going to punch you in the nose, right? So
and look at what it's doing right now. Everybody's on an upswing. How many 19 and 20-year-old coaches do you know on Instagram now? Right now, okay, let's think about this. Why? Because they got into wholesaling, they got into flipping or whatever it is that they're doing. The market is steaming. It's hard to lose in this market right now. It's steaming. So everything they touch, they think turns to gold. And now this ego is through the roof. And oh, guess what? I've been doing it for 6 months. I made 100 grand. Buy my new course.
Yeah.
That's ego. That's ego, ladies and gentlemen. That's exactly what that is, right? Versus the guy like Zuber, who's been in the business for a long period of time, who owns rental property, who understands this is a long-term game. So I want us all to be more aware of what's going on in not just the world, in our business, on social media, and how that is affecting our current short-term mindset.
Yeah, something I would strongly suggest people to follow is I would only, whether it's financial analysts or the crypto or anything, I don't want to listen to folks who've only been doing it 2 or 3 years and the market was like this. I want to talk to somebody where the market ate their lunch and they either survived or they thrived or, whatever. You need time, right? Real estate investing is cycles. There are cycles. And my cycle started in 2001. Wrote it like crazy. I write all this in the book, right? One rental at a time. You want to know about an investor who invested in one of the hottest markets, had houses, sold them at the peak, moved to equity into apartments before the crash, thrived in the crash? Read this book. There you go.
But it happened overnight, right, Michael?
Oh, of course. Yes. Yeah. 20 years overnight. Yeah.
It was 20 years in like 12 months, right?
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah. It was all. Yeah. And I didn't do anything. I just laid in bed and was on the beach and yeah, of course. Come on. Yeah. Like that. Yeah. Yeah. Again, it's, I get why timing the market is sexy. It's easy. It's like, there's yes and no answers. when your time in the market, again, some of the houses that I bought, and again, I don't own them, but I 1031. Let's just take the first house I buy on Norris Drive. It's in the book. I give the address. People can go on Zillow all the time and check it out. I buy it for 107 grand. It rents for 1,100. It cash flows a couple $100. My first tenant screws me. I lose 15 grand in 3 months of rent and pay $1,000 to an attorney. Next tenant moves in, never misses payments. The story is great. About a year and a half into that, I do a cash out refinance. I take out my $20,000 down payment. I take out my 15 grand in repair and another 5 grand. That $40,000 becomes 2 more houses. Those 2 houses that I buy, I refi 2.5 years later. They become 2 more houses. Then those houses become 18 and 10s and 12s. So that one house became 5 houses that became like 48 units. And now is about $1 million in equity, 300 grand in cash, whatever it is, cash flow. One house, time in the market is where this comes out.
That's such a good story. I love that example because all of us, we heard years. We didn't hear days. We didn't hear hours, months, years.
And I suffered through some horrible things. My first tenant didn't pay rent for 3 months. $1,000 eviction, $15,000 repair. It still worked out.
So for us to think, and I'm talking to myself here, that this is going to happen in the next 2 to 3 years, we got it wrong, guys. We got it wrong.
It's a drip to a trickle to a flow to a raging river.
So good.
Yeah.
That is so good. And I want for everybody that's listening, because I know there's a lot of newer investors that listen to this, do not understand what Michael is saying. It's time in the business. Do not allow your short-term failures, your short-term tenant not paying, whatever the case may be, to derail you from this 10-year journey, right? They say 10,000 hours is what makes you master something, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of us are like on hour 10, 20, and we're expecting to be where Cooper is at 10,000 hours from now.
Yeah,
right?
I can't tell you how many people do my buy box in the daily discipline, and then they're reaching out to me in 7 days going, is that it? I don't really get it. Don't worry, it'll come, right? It's 90 days later. It's not 7 days later. So yeah, folks, again, what I want to tell you here as we wrap this up is I want everybody to plan for 10 years. For some of you, it'll be 8, some of you, it'll be 12, but let's plan for 10. Let's just do it. 10 years. Stop thinking of weeks and months. Think about a decade. And then if you're cool with that, let's go.
Yeah. And I want to, as you say that, it's something I empowered my team to do yesterday. Sit down and write a 10-year vision, ladies and gentlemen. Write a 10-year vision of where you are today, or I'm sorry, where you will be 10 years from now, looking backwards.
Yeah.
So what are we? 2021, right? Mm-hmm. So it's November 2026. No, I'm sorry. Yeah. November
31.
November 31. Where are you?
Yeah.
Where are you in your life? How many units do you have? Right? What does life look like? What does it feel like? What does it smell like? What are you driving? What are you wearing? What are you, not to say that all that is really important, but we need to put ourselves there, ladies and gentlemen. Who are you hanging out with? What are you thinking about? And I want to encourage all of you, just let your brain think big. Write this out. Write it to someone that's important to you, your mom, your wife, your husband, your kids, and then put it away. Put it away. And every time you're not motivated, pull that out and read it. And then here's the trick. Whoever you wrote it to, let's just say you wrote it to your spouse, right? You're going to seal it. You're going to put your spouse's name on it. You're going to give it to them and say, in 10 years, open this and read it.
I like it.
And now you got some accountability.
Yeah, baby. Woo.
Oh,
I love it. Thank you for that very much. Where can people find you?
Instagram, YouTube, @Adrian Hernandez. I really appreciate this, brother. Thank you for doing this.
You got it, man. Thanks. It's a lot of fun.